Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking to you about the Garmin G1000 FMS, the flight management system. This system is fantastic. I mean, it does everything you could possibly think of. These 6 little buttons and the FMS knob, and you can put in a flight plan, departure and arrival procedures. You can go direct. You're just going to one location, you just go direct. You don't have to go mess with the flight plan. Or, I mean, it's like having in the airline, they got that huge FMS panel that they, like a little keypad. And this is all controlled by this right here. Let's get started. All right, so say we are sitting at Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas National Airport, XNA, and say we want to fly down to Little Rock, XNA to Little Rock. We can go direct, and then I hit the FMS knob, and the Air Manager, I have my knobster loaded in Air Manager, and when I touch my touch screen, it turns yellow. That means the knobster is recognized, and I can use that. So now I can put in K-L-I-T, and it says Little Rock, Clinton National Airport, Little Rock, Arkansas. And you hit enter, and it asks you to activate it. And now we got this magenta line from XNA. It goes all the way down to Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay, that's one way to do it. Now say we wanted to go to XNA to Fort Smith and Little Rock. Well, you can't do the direct method. You have to do a flight plan. So we're going to go back in here and we're going to hit menu. Let me clear this flight plan. And we're going to go to menu and we're going to come down and we're going to delete this flight plan. Okay, delete it. All right. So now we're here, we're in the active flight plan page, XNA to XNA. We're at XNA. So now we want to go to Fort Smith. I take my knobster, the big knob, and I turn it down. And the little knob is going to give me my next page where I can enter the Fort Smith. There's a little knob I turned clockwise. And keep turning it, go to KF, there, Fort Smith Regional. And I hit enter, okay? And there it is, Fort Smith Regional. Now I want to go to Little Rock. So do the same thing. Turn the little knob, because it already moved it down. So turn the little knob, and it brings up your waypoint information page. And you keep turning the little knob. You got the K. All the airports in the United States start with a K. And we go to put in Little Rock, L-I-T. There it is. You enter, and there it is, Little Rock. Okay, so now we have it all entered in. Now what do we do? Well, we can just that and we're done. Now when we can put in a procedure, approach procedure or departure procedures. Let's go to procedure and let's select a departure procedure out of XNA. And let's go enter. This is XNA, Northwest Arkansas. Oh, this is an old computer, regional, but the departure procedure is HIFL 6. That's the only one we have. So you can enter that, and we're going to be taken off on runway. Yeah, 16 is fine. Enter, and we're going to load that. Enter. Now, our departure procedure coming out of XNA runway 16 is going to be HIFL 6. We'll be flying that until we get Razorback control, and they'll tell us where to go from there, but you just follow that. Okay, so now we're not going to stop in Fort Smith. We're just going to fly over Fort Smith. Okay, so now we want to do another procedure for approach procedure. Let's do an approach procedure here. Enter. This is Little Rock, and we don't know exactly what runway we're going to be landing on yet, but let's just pick one. We're going to do an ILS to, let's go to 22 left. ILS 22 left. Big knob on the knobster, and you move it down. The big knob and the little knob is the same as the FMS knob on the actual G1000. So you get the same idea. And then you press enter. And are we going to take vectors? Well, let's just move this down to the, oh, where are we going to go here? Let's try this one. We're going to enter in at this entrance point, and we can put in our minimums. Okay, minimums are our barrow plus 400. And you have to turn the little knob. It takes forever. You have to look at your chart to see what the minimums are, but let's just say 400. And primary frequency is right there. Okay. Big knob, come on down. We're going to load this. Load it. All right, so now we've got our departure. Here's our flight plan. And we're going to be leaving out of X and A on HIFL 6 departure. We're going to fly over Fort Smith, and then we're going to head to Little Rock. And when we get closer to Little Rock, we're going to activate our approach. So for now, we're going to go to menu. We're going to activate this. We can activate this leg from X and A to Fort Smith. Our departure, and we'll enter. And now it's activated. See, right here, it's magenta. And as we fly along, this will change colors and all that. It gives you the degrees that you got to be going at, the altitude you got to be at. So it's pretty sophisticated. Now we can you can store that flight plan. You can invert it, like when you're in Little Rock, you can invert it and come on home the same way, or you can delete it. Okay, I mean there's all kinds of things you can do here. All right, so now let's go to let's get rid of that. Let's go to our range button and back to our knobster. Let's just see what this looks like when we blow it up. We are at 150 miles, it looks like. It's loading. It's just, there. So anyway, this is Fort Smith. This is Little Rock over here. Okay, flight plan. Now, say we're done. And what do you want to do with this flight plan? Go to menu, and you can store the flight plan. Just move your big knob. Oh, I'm on range. I'm sorry, you have to touch your FMS. Move your big knob down. You can store it, like I was showing you before, talking to you before. So let's just store this one. Enter it, and it's been stored. But it's still there, right? Say you don't want to look at it anymore. What happens if you do a invert flight plan? Enter. Now it's Little Rock, Fort Smith, and X and A. Pretty cool, huh? In the menu. And you can if there's airways on here, you can collapse the airways, which we don't have. And then you can also delete the approach that we selected and create an offset waypoint, which I've never used. I've never used the delete approach and none of that. I've used the delete flight plan and the store flight plan and activate leg. So let's just delete this flight plan. Enter. It's gone. That quick. So come down here now and clear. Okay, clear. All right, so it's busy loading to Fort Smith. All right, go direct. Remember a little knob, K, F, S, M. K, F, S, M. Enter and activate. Now when we get to Fort Smith, let's do a procedure. Let's do a, let's select an approach at Fort Smith. Okay, let's go to, oh, what's a good runway? Let's do ILS 25. Okay, let's do ILS 25. And you enter. And we're going to enter in at, we're going to do Barrow. Enter, enter. We're going to load that. Okay, so now that's active. Okay, so now I want to tune my range. There we are. I'm gonna like this. I like to set about 20, 30 miles. Anyway, let's take this for a short spin and see what kind of trouble we can get into. Clear prop. As you can see here, we're departing X and A to the south. Alright, if you can see here, we're here, and our entrance into the approach is going to be right here. So what I can do, at any time now, I can actually go here to procedures, and I can go to activate my approach. And hit the FMS button, turn the big button counterclockwise, and activate my approach. Enter, and now it's sending me directly to this approach point right here. And you can see it's in pink. So I am going to show you over here on the PFD what we're looking at. Now we're going to this approach point. We're at 19.7 nautical miles, 169 degrees. And our barrow minimums, remember I put them in at 400 feet? There it shows it right there. And what it's also going to tell you, show you, is go to flight plan. You have 3,500 feet entry altitude at this point. Once we get to that point, the next point is OCX, it's 3,100 feet. Well, it's already set that up in the altitude here. So once we cross over this point right here, sorry about that, guys. Once we cross over this point, approach point, 17 nautical miles, we're going to drop our altitude to this. Okay? See how sophisticated this system is, and it's so compact. Everything is right here. All right, we just passed over the AYUWU entry point. Now we're on our way to OCEXA, 13.3 nautical miles. I'm going to do a vertical speed, change my nose down. I'll go down 600, bring my throttle back. We're going down to 3,100 feet. And then once we get to our next fixed point, I'm going to drop it down to 2,700 feet. Okay. So altitude will be okay, we're level at 3,100. Flying the arc. You can see there. The GPS function on this G1000 or on any of the electronic or the glass cockpits makes it much easier flying the arc. If you did that with your map, you'd have to have all these test checkpoints, make sure your DME is the correct distance from the VOR or whatever you're checking it on with. This is so much better. All right, need to get my speed up. CF25. And then after that, I'll drop down to 2697 for an altitude. My altitude at 26. Well, I'm just going to leave it at 27 because 2697, I mean, 3 feet. 2697. Yeah, and then there's runway 25. Okay, well, we're good. We're good. So I'll put my landing lights on, make sure that everybody sees me. Got the localizer. It's come into view. All right, there we go. Now we're on the localizer approach at 2,700 feet. The localizer is coming in. I'm going to put our heading bug right there. This is runway 25 right here. All right, glide slope's coming into play here. It's a glide slope. So that's how this little FMS works. You program your either direct or your flight plan to multiple airports, and you can program your departure and arrival flight plan, your approaches. It's really a sophisticated unit right here in this little area right here. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.